Hey there, fellow truth seekers. Welcome back to another episode of Broadcasting Seeds, where we plant the seeds of curiosity and nurture them into the tree of knowledge. I'm your host, Bennett Tanton, here to guide you through the twisted corridors of the unknown. Whether you're a seasoned conspiracy theorist, a cryptid enthusiast, or just someone who loves a good ghost story, you've come to the right place. Today, we're venturing into the heart of northwestern Pennsylvania, a place that's not just known for its lush, dense woodlands and serene beauty, but also for its baffling, high strangeness. That's right, folks. We're talking about the Allegheny National Forest. This forest, with its whispering trees and shadowy corners, has been the stage for some truly bizarre phenomena. From eerie lights dancing among the treetops to mysterious creatures lurking in the shadows, the Allegheny National Forest seems to be a hotspot for all things paranormal. But what exactly is going on in these woods? Why are there so many unexplained occurrences here? And what impact do these phenomena have on those who experience them and on society as a whole? In today's episode, we're going to peel back the layers of folklore, delve into first-hand accounts, and explore the theories that suggest this forest might just be a portal to other realms. So grab your flashlight, put on your hiking boots, and let's get ready to explore the eerie, the bizarre, and the downright strange. But before we dive into the heart of the Allegheny National Forest, let's take a moment to remember why we're here. At Broadcasting Seeds, we aim to educate, inspire, and entertain you with stories of the unexplained. We're here to shine a light on the mysteries that lurk in the shadows and to encourage you to keep asking questions, no matter how strange or outlandish they may seem. All right, with that said, let's get into it. All right, folks, buckle up because we're about to take a trip back in time to understand the rich history and folklore surrounding the Allegheny National Forest. This isn't just any forest, it's a place where history and mystery intertwine. The Allegheny National Forest, established in 1923, covers over 500,000 acres in northwestern Pennsylvania. It's a place of incredible natural beauty, home to countless species of wildlife, towering hardwood trees, and pristine rivers and streams. But while its official history is well documented, there's another layer to this forest, one that's steeped in folklore and legend. Long before it became a national forest, the land was inhabited by Native American tribes, including the Seneca, who were part of the Iroquois Confederacy. These early inhabitants believed the forest was a sacred place, teeming with spirits and mystical beings. According to their legends, the Allegheny Woods were a realm where the natural and supernatural worlds coexisted. One of the most enduring tales from this period is that of the Thunderbirds, giant birds said to be powerful enough to control the weather. These creatures were revered and feared, seen as protectors and harbingers of storms. Could these legendary birds be connected to the eerie lights seen in the forest today? Some say yes, while others believe the lights have a more extraterrestrial origin. But we'll get into that later. Fast forward to the early 20th century, when European settlers began to explore and settle the area. They brought their own superstitions and stories, blending them with the Native American legends. Logging camps sprang up, and with them came tales of mysterious creatures and strange occurrences. Loggers reported hearing disembodied voices and seeing shadowy figures moving through the trees. Some even claimed to have encountered the infamous Wendigo, a terrifying creature from Algonquin folklore said to possess the power to drive people to madness and cannibalism. As the years went by, these stories continued to evolve. Campfire tales of ghostly apparitions, strange animal sightings, and unexplained phenomena became part of the local lore. The forest gained a reputation as a place where the veil between our world and the unknown was particularly thin. In the 1970s, reports of Bigfoot sightings in the Allegheny National Forest began to surface, adding another layer to its mystique. Witnesses described encounters with a large, hairy creature that walked on two legs and emitted a foul odor. These sightings were often accompanied by strange sounds, like whoops and knocks, which some believe are a form of communication used by the elusive creature. But it's not just Bigfoot that calls these woods home. Over the years, there have been reports of other cryptids, including the squonk, a creature said to be so ugly that it hides from human sight and dissolves into a pool of tears when captured. While the squonk might sound more like a tragic figure from a fairy tale, its legend is firmly rooted in the local folklore. So, why is the Allegheny National Forest such a hotspot for these strange tales? Some say it's the forest's remote and rugged terrain, which makes it an ideal hiding place for creatures and phenomena that defy explanation. Others believe there's something inherently mystical about the land itself, a kind of energy that attracts the paranormal. Whatever the reason, the folklore of the Allegheny National Forest is as rich and varied as the forest itself. It's a place where history and mystery collide, creating a tapestry of stories that continue to captivate and intrigue. Welcome back, truth seekers. In this segment, we're shining a light, pun intended, on one of the most perplexing mysteries of the Allegheny National Forest, the Eerie Lights. Picture this. It's a calm, quiet night. The moon is hidden behind a veil of clouds, and the forest is cloaked in darkness. Suddenly, out of nowhere, strange lights begin to dance among the trees. They flicker, dart, and shimmer, almost as if they have a mind of their own. Sounds like a scene straight out of a horror movie, right? Well, for many people who've experienced this phenomenon, it's all too real. Reports of these mysterious lights date back decades, with witnesses describing them as glowing orbs, bright flashes, or even beams of light that appear and disappear without warning. Some say the lights are blue or green, while others describe them as white or yellow. What they all agree on is that these lights are unlike anything they've ever seen. So what could be causing these eerie illuminations? There are a few theories floating around, each more intriguing than the last. One of the more mundane explanations is that the lights are simply a natural phenomenon known as swamp gas. Swamp gas, or methane, can create glowing lights when it ignites in the air. However, many argue that the locations of these sightings don't align with areas where swamp gas would typically be found. Another theory is that the lights are a result of a geological phenomenon called earthquake lights. These lights can occur before or during seismic activity, caused by the release of stress in the Earth's crust. While this explanation is scientifically plausible, it doesn't account for the fact that the lights in the Allegheny National Forest have been reported in areas with no significant seismic activity. Then, there's the extraterrestrial angle. Could these lights be the work of UFOs? Some witnesses claim that the lights move in ways that defy the laws of physics. making sharp turns and sudden stops. This has led some to speculate that the lights are actually the propulsion systems of alien spacecraft. While this might sound far-fetched to some, it's worth noting that Pennsylvania has a long history of UFO sightings, and the Allegheny National Forest is no exception. One particularly compelling account comes from a local resident named Tom. One night, while camping with friends, Tom noticed a series of bright orbs moving through the trees. At first, he thought they were fireflies, but as they got closer, he realized these lights were much larger and more intense. The orbs moved in a deliberate pattern, almost as if they were searching for something. Tom and his friends watched in awe and a bit of terror as the lights hovered for several minutes before abruptly disappearing. Of course, not everyone believes the lights are extraterrestrial in origin. Some think they're the work of spirits or other supernatural entities. The Native American tribes who once inhabited the region believed that the forest was home to powerful spirits, and some modern-day witnesses have reported feeling a sense of unease or even dread when encountering the lights. Could these be the same spirits the Seneca spoke of, still making their presence known after all these years? Whatever the cause, the lights remain one of the forest's most enduring mysteries. They've captured the imagination of paranormal enthusiasts and skeptics alike, fueling countless theories and debates. And while we may never know for sure what's behind these eerie illuminations, one thing is clear. They add another layer of intrigue to the already enigmatic Allegheny National Forest. All right, folks, if you thought the eerie lights were strange, wait until you hear about the cryptids and mysterious creatures said to inhabit the Allegheny National Forest. This place isn't just a paradise for hikers and nature lovers. It's also a hotbed for cryptid sightings that would make even the most seasoned monster hunter raise an eyebrow. First up on our cryptid tour is the legendary Bigfoot. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bigfoot sightings are a dime a dozen, but the reports coming out of the Allegheny National Forest are something else. Witnesses have described encounters with a large, hairy creature standing anywhere from 7 to 9 feet tall. This isn't your average bear mistaken for a monster, folks. We're talking about a bipedal, human-like figure that leaves behind enormous footprints. One particularly chilling account comes from a hiker named Sarah. While trekking through a remote part of the forest, she noticed a foul odor, like a mix of wet dog and rotting meat. Moments later, she saw a massive figure moving through the trees. At first, she thought it was a person, but as it got closer, she realized it was something entirely different. The creature let out a low, guttural growl before disappearing into the dense forest. Needless to say, Sarah hightailed it out of there and has never returned to that part of the woods. But Bigfoot isn't the only cryptid said to roam these parts. The Allegheny National Forest is also home to the lesser-known but equally intriguing squonk. According to local folklore, the squonk is a small, wrinkled creature so hideous that it spends most of its time hiding from sight. The legend goes that if you ever manage to catch a squonk, it will dissolve into a pool of its own tears, overcome by its own ugliness. While the squonk might sound more like a character from a children's storybook, there have been actual reports of people hearing strange, mournful cries in the forest at night. Could these be the lamentations of the elusive squonk? Who knows? But it's a fun story to ponder. And then there's the Pennsylvania thunderbird, a creature from Native American legend that some believe still soars through the skies of the Allegheny National Forest. Witnesses have described seeing massive, bird-like creatures with wingspans of over 20 feet. One of the most famous sightings occurred in the 1970s when several people reported seeing a giant bird near the Kinzua Dam. Some say the thunderbird is a prehistoric creature that survived extinction, while others believe it's a spirit or even an extraterrestrial being. Now, I know what you're thinking. How could such large and bizarre creatures go unnoticed in today's world of smartphones and social media? Well, the Allegheny National Forest is vast and rugged, with plenty of remote areas where these cryptids could hide. Plus, let's face it, if you saw a 9-foot tall hairy creature or a giant bird, would you stop to take a picture or would you run for your life? I think most of us would choose the latter. But it's not just Bigfoot, squonks, and thunderbirds that make the Allegheny National Forest a cryptid hotspot. There have been reports of other strange creatures as well, including large black panthers, despite the fact that no such animals are known to exist in the region. These sightings have baffled wildlife experts and added another layer of mystery to the forest. So why are there so many cryptid sightings in the Allegheny National Forest? Some believe it's because the forest is a kind of natural refuge, a place where these creatures can live undisturbed. Others think there's something supernatural at play, perhaps even a portal to another dimension. Whatever the reason, the Allegheny National Forest remains one of the most intriguing places for cryptid enthusiasts and paranormal investigators alike. We've covered the strange lights and cryptid sightings in the Allegheny National Forest, but now we're venturing into even darker territory. This segment is all about the mysterious disappearances and unexplained sounds that have left many wondering if there's something more sinister at play in these woods. Disappearances in the Allegheny National Forest aren't just the stuff of urban legends, they're real and they're terrifying. Over the years, several people have vanished without a trace while hiking, camping, or simply exploring the forest. One of the most perplexing cases is that of a man named David, who went missing while on a solo hiking trip. Despite extensive search efforts involving local authorities, search and rescue teams, and even volunteers from neighboring towns, no sign of David was ever found. His disappearance remains an unsolved mystery, adding to the forest's eerie reputation. But David isn't the only one. There are numerous accounts of people going missing, only to be found days later with no memory of what happened. These individuals often report feeling a sense of being watched or followed before they vanished. Some have even described hearing strange, disembodied voices calling their names, luring them deeper into the forest. Speaking of strange sounds, the Allegheny National Forest is a symphony of the unexplained. From the moment the sun sets, the forest comes alive with noises that defy explanation. Witnesses have reported hearing everything from eerie whispers to blood-curdling screams, often coming from seemingly empty parts of the forest. One particularly spine-chilling account comes from a camper named Mark. While setting up his tent near a remote stream, he heard what sounded like a child crying. Concerned, he followed the sound, only to find nothing but empty woods. As he turned to head back to his campsite, the crying started again, this time closer and more insistent. Mark described the sound as almost hypnotic, pulling him further away from safety. It was only when he remembered the stories of disappearances that he snapped out of it and hurried back to his tent. he packed up and left that night, vowing never to return. Then there are the inexplicable knocks and whoops, often attributed to Bigfoot activity. These sounds are typically rhythmic and seem to come from high up in the trees. Some researchers believe they could be a form of communication, either between Bigfoot individuals or as a way to warn off intruders. Others think they might be something entirely different, perhaps even supernatural in origin. Another phenomenon that has left many scratching their heads is the sudden silence that can descend upon the forest. Imagine walking through the woods, surrounded by the sounds of nature, birds chirping, leaves rustling, the distant rush of a stream. Then, without warning, everything goes quiet. It's as if the forest itself is holding its breath. This unsettling silence is often followed by a feeling of intense dread, as if something unseen is watching you. So, what's behind these disappearances and strange sounds? There are several theories, each more intriguing than the last. Some believe that the forest is home to a portal, a gateway to another dimension where the rules of our reality don't apply. This could explain why people vanish and later return with no memory of their ordeal. Others think that the forest is haunted by restless spirits, perhaps those of Native Americans who once lived on the land, or the souls of those who have perished in the forest over the years. There's also the possibility of cryptid activity. As we discussed earlier, Bigfoot and other mysterious creatures are rumored to inhabit the forest. Could these beings be responsible for the disappearances and strange sounds? It's certainly possible, especially if they're trying to protect their territory from human intrusion. Finally, some suggest that the government might be involved in covering up the true nature of these events. There are whispers of secret experiments and hidden installations deep within the forest, guarded by those who will stop at nothing to keep their secrets safe. While this might sound like the plot of a science fiction movie, it's worth considering in a world where truth is often stranger than fiction. We've journeyed through the eerie lights, cryptid encounters, and strange disappearances of the Allegheny National Forest. Now, it's time to dive into one of the most compelling and controversial theories: the idea that this forest might be a portal to other realms. Buckle up, because this segment is going to take us deep into the world of the unknown. The notion that the Allegheny National Forest could be a portal to other dimensions isn't as far-fetched as it might sound. Throughout history, there have been countless stories and legends about places where the veil between our world and other realms is thin. These so-called liminal spaces are often associated with high levels of paranormal activity, and the Allegheny National Forest certainly fits the bill. One of the key pieces of evidence supporting this theory is the sheer variety of phenomena reported in the forest. From UFO sightings and cryptid encounters to ghostly apparitions and time slips, the range of experiences suggests that there might be something more going on than just overactive imaginations. Some researchers believe that these diverse phenomena could all be manifestations of the same underlying cause, a portal or series of portals that connect our world to others. So, what exactly is a portal, and how might it work? In theoretical physics, A portal could be thought of as a kind of wormhole, a tunnel through space-time that connects distant points in the universe. If such portals exist, they could potentially link not just different locations within our universe, but entirely different dimensions or realities. This idea might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's a topic of serious study among some physicists and paranormal researchers. One particularly intriguing case involves a man named Joe who was hiking in the forest when he experienced what he described as a time slip. Joe claims that as he was walking, he suddenly found himself in a different place in time. The forest around him had changed, with trees and plants that didn't belong to the current era. He even encountered people dressed in old-fashioned clothing who seemed just as startled to see him as he was to see them. After what felt like only a few minutes, Joe was back in the present, with no clear explanation of what had happened. Joe's experience is just one of many that suggest the Allegheny National Forest might be a kind of temporal and spatial hotspot. These accounts often involve similar themes: sudden changes in the environment, encounters with people or creatures that don't fit the current time period, and a sense of disorientation. While skeptics might dismiss these stories as hallucinations or fabrications, the consistency of the reports across different witnesses adds a layer of credibility. In addition to first-hand accounts, there have been several investigations aimed at uncovering the truth about the Allegheny National Forest. Paranormal researchers have conducted numerous field studies using everything from electromagnetic field detectors to infrared cameras to capture evidence of strange phenomena. While the results have been mixed, some investigators have reported significant anomalies, such as unexplained temperature drops, electronic malfunctions, and even sightings of mysterious lights and figures. One notable investigation was conducted by a team from the North American Cryptozoology Research Center, NACRC. They spent several weeks in the forest documenting their findings and interviewing locals. Their report concluded that there was indeed something unusual about the area, though they stopped short of declaring it a portal. Instead, they suggested that the forest might be a kind of window area, a place where the boundaries between different realities are particularly porous. Then there's the idea that the government might be aware of these portals and is actively covering up their existence. Conspiracy theories abound, with claims that secret military installations and black ops projects are hidden deep within the forest. Some even suggest that the strange lights and disappearances are the result of experiments gone wrong, or that the government is using the forest as a testing ground for advanced technology. While these theories are often dismissed as paranoia, the lack of concrete answers leaves room for speculation. So, what's the takeaway from all of this? The Allegheny National Forest is undeniably a place of high strangeness, where reality seems to bend and twist in ways that defy explanation. Whether it's a portal to other realms, a hotspot for paranormal activity, or something else entirely, one thing is clear: this forest holds secrets that continue to captivate and mystify those who dare to explore its depths. Well, folks, that's a wrap on this episode of Broadcasting Seeds. We've journeyed through the eerie, the strange, and the downright bizarre corners of the Allegheny National Forest. From mysterious lights to cryptid encounters, and from strange disappearances to the tantalizing possibility of portals to other realms, we've covered a lot of ground. But remember, the quest for knowledge never ends. There are always new stories to uncover, new mysteries to explore, and new seeds of curiosity to plant. So, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, share, and review the podcast. Your support helps us keep the lights on and the stories coming. And who knows? Maybe your feedback will inspire our next deep dive into the unknown. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. We've got a lot more exciting topics lined up, from government cover-ups and biblical mysteries to paranormal phenomena and conspiracy theories, so stay tuned and keep those minds open. If you have any stories, theories, or experiences you'd like to share, drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you and maybe even feature your story in a future episode. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep broadcasting those seeds of curiosity. I'm Bennett Tanton, signing off. Stay safe, stay curious, and we'll see you on the next journey into the unknown.
I got bad thoughts that make my mind scared. Hold me hostage and they don't fight fair. Who gon' pray for me and wipe all my tears? Who gon' save me if you not right here? Move this darkness and make my sight clear. Take me away cause I don't like here. Ghosts of my past, they fill in the night air. Wake me up, I'm trapped in my nightmares. Wake me up, I'm trapped in my nightmares. Drowning, I'm off the deep end. Apparitions of all my demons. All my thoughts are committing treason. All alone, who gon' hear me screaming? Manifestations of my fears. Regrets that stretched out for light years. Can almost touch the light, homie, it's right there. Body free but trapped in my nightmares. Wake me up, don't let me drown. All the lights are fading